Hi, Salem. Welcome to Halloween
Hi.
Daily. Thank you for talking to me today.
No problem. I'm very excited.
Well, before we even get to Halloween Kills and your acting career, we like to learn a little bit about yourself. And we try to do that through Halloween, the holiday itself. So I'd like to first just ask you a little bit about what Halloween, the holiday, means to you. I know after this year and the release of this film, it's probably going to take on a whole new meaning, but growing up and in your life, is Halloween something that you guys celebrate or do you
No,
go big or
actually,
not so much?
we don't celebrate it. My family, we've never celebrated it. So it was kind of ironic that I was in Halloween Kills
Yeah,
because I've never celebrated Halloween. So yeah, that's it was ironic to my family.
I bet. Yeah, that's fascinating.
Mhm.
So we were talking earlier. You're from North Carolina. Is that where you've grown up?
Yes. Yes. So I grew up in Lexington, which is a tiny town in North Carolina. Um, I grew up there my whole life. Like I never moved. My every one of my friends had been like, "Oh, we're moving," and I was like, "Oh, cool." So I've never moved except now. I live in Winston. We moved about 2 months ago, I think, one and a half. We moved here to Winston. My mom's a photographer, so she has a studio here in Winston. So we moved to be closer and have more room for our family. We have a very big family. We're a blended family, and so on my stepdad, my dad's side, he used to live in Louisiana, and so he has a huge family over there. And we don't have that big of a family over here, but on my mom's side, we don't really have that big of a family. But definitely, when my dad's side comes, we needed more space for like my grandmother and my grandfather and my cousins to come stay. So
Yeah. So when did you get interested in acting? When is it something you've always wanted to do, or something fairly recent, or when did you start to get interested in acting? How did that come to be?
So I was 3 years old when I started theater.
Wow.
My sister had a birthday party at a theater when she was 6, and we put on a whole stage production for her birthday of Alice in Wonderland. And so, me being tiny, I was cast as the White Rabbit. It was a whole little fun thing for all the kids to join in. Well, nobody really got into it and stayed with it except me and my sister. So I've been stage acting since I was 3. I absolutely love Broadway. I want to go and be on Broadway as well someday, but I don't know if that's gonna work. But yeah, and then I don't actually remember how I got into film, which is weird. I just remember one day just having, hey, you have an audition. What? Like, wait, what? What is that? Like for a play? Like, no, like for whatever it was. And I was like, oh, okay. So I don't really remember how long I've been doing film, but I know I've been acting pretty much my entire life.
Wow, that is amazing that it's just always been a part of your life to where you don't remember the first one. What is, I guess, your earliest memory of being on a set?
Earliest memory being on a set in theater
Hmm.
is 101 Dalmatians, which was my first show that I ever did. I think I was about 5.
Nice.
And the only thing I remember about it is that we had a turning stage,
Well, that's
and
cool.
it was cool. And that's what I remember.
That's a pretty big production to have the turning stage. Awesome. And so you've been acting your whole life. Um, and as far as your own entertainment in your life, are scary movies? Are you a fan of scary movies in general, or what kind of
No,
movies do you like?
I've never watched a horror movie in my entire life.
Again, another great piece of irony that here you are in the most anticipated horror movie of the year.
I know. They scare me to death. I can't watch them. I will literally just stay up all night if I watch one and just like sit there and stare at the door to make sure nobody comes in my room. I am very hyper aware of every noise in the house. That
Yeah.
it's insane because like our old house was 200 years old, And I mean, obviously you're going to have some creaky floorboards and noises are going to happen, but especially once I got back from set, I mean, I was so hyper aware of everything in the house. But yeah, I hate scary movies. I can't do them.
Oh man, yeah, and that's what Jamie Lee Curtis says too. That she is not a fan of scary movies either, and I guess maybe that's why you guys act so well in them. That it's some legit fear going on.
It is legit fear. Don't get it wrong. It is legit fear.
Yeah, I bet. I think you just answered one of my questions I was going to ask, but and I think I know the answer based on what you just said. Had you seen the original Halloween or the most recent Halloween before working on the new one?
No, so I haven't, and I, for some odd reason, I want to. Like, I had never thought of that even happening before. And when I went to audition for Halloween Kills, I thought I was auditioning for Friday the 13th. I had no idea what I was even auditioning for. I had no idea what the storyline was. I had no idea who Michael Myers was, anything. And now people are asking me to explain it to them, and I'm explaining it to them.
So now you've learned a little bit more since then. Excellent, but still haven't watched the movies yet.
No.
Maybe this October.
I'm not allowed to. I'm not allowed to watch it. I would love to, but I don't think it would be good.
In due time, yeah. Yeah, in the right time. So tell us a little bit about how you did get the role of Christy in Halloween Kills. Do you remember how that went? Was there an audition or well, I guess it was. You just said, do you remember anything about that?
Yes. So it's so crazy. That was 2 years ago. So in film, how we do it is you get an audition, like, and you film it at home. So, and then you submit it, whatever, through whatever portal you're going through. So I just remember it was pretty normal. I would come home, I was a gymnast, so I would come home from gym and my mom would be like, hey, you have an audition, or just any time of the day, like, hey, you got an audition. So it was pretty normal. She was like, hey, you have an audition. But this time it was actually me and two others of my sisters that auditioned for it originally. Okay. So they auditioned for some other role, and I was originally auditioned for Christy. So we had to drive to Wilmington, actually, where it was actually filmed, but we had to go into the where the sound stages were and everything. So it was in this building. It was called Mob Rules, and we went in, and it was an in-person audition. Which, when we were in Lexington, Wilmington was like 4 or 5 hours away. So we didn't really want to do it. We were like, but let's not decline. This is the first in-person we've gotten in a while. So we went to Wilmington, and we stepped in there and waited, and then when it was my turn, I went in, and I actually think, I don't know if he was there the first or second time, but I think one of the times David was actually in the audition room. So I was like, crap, like they introduced themselves. They're like, I'm the director. I was like, oh God, I was like, this better be good, or else you cannot screw up in front of these people. These are big people. You can't screw up. And so I did it, and I ran my lines, and so and then I walked out, and we went, and we were just like, oh, it's okay. It's probably another audition that we're not going to get, like, because definitely when you audition, you have to think, like, you're not going to get every single one of them. Right. Like, at all. So we went out, we were like, oh, it's fine. It's just another audition. It's done. We're just going to go to the beach. So I went to the beach in Wilmington for a day, then drove home. 2 days later, my mom comes in to me and my sister and says, hey, you two got a call back. And so my other sister did not, but me and one of my others did. So we went back to Wilmington in the same place, auditioned again, went to the beach, and then went home. So again, usually when I get a call back, it's like, oh, I'm so excited, but also in the back of my head, you're not going to make it, basically. Okay. So we went home, didn't think much about it until I was sitting in the living room one day. I actually don't remember the timeline, but I know that I was just sitting in the living room minding my own business one day. My mom walks in with her phone in her hand, and she goes, congratulations, movie star, you got it. And I went, what? I was like, give me a second to process this, and then I'll respectfully freak out. And so after like 5 minutes, I actually processed what was going on, went into the hallway and screamed as loud as I could. I was so excited.
Yeah.
And it was a surreal experience as well, because it was like, hey, like this isn't some movie that you record on your iPhone and like put into iMovie and like edit. Like this is a real movie. You are actually going to be in a real movie.
Yeah.
And I don't know, it was insane. The feeling of like, I was like, when do we start? When do we start? When do we go? Where is it? What am I doing? Who am I? Like, it was so many questions. And my mom was like, chill. I'm like, I can't. I was so excited.
Oh, that is so awesome to hear. I mean, that just makes me so happy to hear your excitement, and yeah, because you've got to have that attitude, you know, when you're doing those auditions all the time. And yeah, you've got to, you know, always assume that, yeah, it's just another audition. And that was the victory there, getting the audition. And let's be happy about that and not get our hopes up about the rest. And so when it finally does happen.
Yeah, especially in persons, like it's really hard to get in-person auditions and actually keep your role, because they're looking for somebody that looks exactly like they want or sounds exactly like they want. It's also mostly about like how you look, how tall you are, what's your hair color, like, and sometimes they'll pull you for that exact role and then say, yeah, no, never mind. So that has happened to me a few times, but honestly, it's just another part of acting.
Yeah. Yeah. So you got the role, you got the news a few days after that other audition. How quick was it from there to when you were on set shooting? Do you know?
I think it was probably about a week or 2 weeks. I'm actually not sure the exact date, but I think that's
pretty fast.
Yes, pretty fast.
And how long were you on set? Do you know how many days?
I do not. I'm so bad at remembering things.
That's all right.
This was such a long time ago.
Yeah. But it was multiple days. And
oh yes, sir. Yes.
Yeah. So what can you tell us about your time on the set? Obviously, you know, you were there, you're filming this new character, and a lot of big names on the set. And were you, by this time, I mean, obviously you knew this was not, you know, this was a higher magnitude film. Were you aware at this point, like, who Jamie Lee Curtis is, who Kyle Richards is, some of these big names?
I had absolutely no idea. I had no idea who I was working with. Now I do, and I'm like, daggum, you should have made a better impression on these people. They're huge. But now I do, and they are so nice. I actually didn't get to meet Jamie Lee Curtis, but I almost did. I missed her by 2 minutes.
Oh no.
She had left 2 minutes before I got there.
Oh, so well, maybe next time, right?
Yeah, maybe next time.
Maybe on the red carpet or something.
Oh Lord. But yeah, no, getting there was nerve-wracking, but also it was like nerve-wracking excitement. So like I wasn't scared. I was like, well, I was, but I wasn't scared like to the point where I was like, oh, I don't think I can do this. Like I was like, heck yeah, let's do this. Come on, let's go. Like I was so hyped up to get on set and do this, because I had never, when I even got the role, I was like, heck yeah, let's go. Can I go to Wilmington like right now? Let's go film. Come on. So I had no idea what I was doing. Absolutely no clue what I was doing. And then so on set, I did meet two of my now best friends, Giselle Witt and Jay Gavin Wild. They are awesome people. And Giselle Witt actually plays in the trailer, you see me swinging, and then the one sitting there, that's Giselle. So she plays a character called Mindy, and she was just awesome to work with. I love her so much. And yeah, so getting there, it was actually not quite sundown yet. So we had to wait until it was, dark. But I remember meeting David for the first time. I love him. I would just
Mhm.
like to say he is amazing. He is very nice and very kind. Yeah, so we went and we sat on a picnic table. He wanted to meet us. He called us over there, me and Giselle, and he said, "Hey, how are you girls doing?" And we were like, "Oh, we're good." He was like, "Hey, girls, come over here." And so we sat on a picnic table, and he looked at us and said, "Do you have your lines memorized?" And me trying to be a good person, was like, "Yes, sir, I've got it. I'm ready. Like, I've
Mhm.
memorized them all. I've worked on them all day. Like, I'm ready to go." He looks at me and Giselle and goes, "We're going to improv this whole scene. Forget the lines." Excuse me? Like, what in the world do you mean by improv? I'm not, no. And we did. We improv the whole thing. And
Wow.
it was the most amazing experience because everybody was very nice. All the stage crew was so nice. And just having that experience with those people, it's made my view of movies and sets and acting so much different in the greatest of
Mhm.
ways. It was a great experience. But yeah, there was some absolutely hilarious moments on set that I keep telling my family, and they're like, "You told us this 17 times." I'm like, I know, but it's hilarious. Just listen. And they're like, "We already know what happens." And I'm like, "Yeah, I know, but just listen." So like it's it's so amazing, even though it was 2 years ago. It just feels like just yesterday that I actually got told that I was gonna play Christy and all that.
So, so that was pretty much your first night on set. It sounds like, and you're told right off the bat you're going to improvise, and
Yeah.
everything you learned and prepared is out the window.
Mhm.
And so that's awesome. You guys improvising. I mean, technically, you guys kind of co-wrote the movie in your own way, then improvising these
Yeah.
lines.
Yeah, and fun fact about that though, during
Hmm.
filming, I actually had an ankle injury, and with the running that we had to do, you see us running in the
Hmm.
trailer away.
Hmm.
It was a hassle. I
Yeah.
mean, it was insane. Every single scene, every single cut that we did, people would be like, "Are you okay? Do you need it?" Like, they were so nice and like just so kind and caring. And I'd never met these people before, and they absolutely just loved everybody there. It was amazing.
Wow, that sounds great. I've talked to a lot of people that worked on the 2018 film, and a lot of them were back. You know, most of them were all back for Halloween Kills, and yeah, everything I've heard about filming of that was very much the same. That it was just a magical set to be on, and everybody was there for all the right reasons, and a lot of passion there. In the trailer, we see the you guys on the swings, and you actually have one of the best lines I think in this new trailer. I mean, we're recording this, and the trailer was just released 4 days ago,
Mhm.
and of course, we're fans like myself have just been so excited, and then that trailer just kicked the excitement into overdrive. And
Mhm.
you've got one of the best lines in the trailer. You know, you're on the swing set with your friend, and Kyle Richards comes up and you say there's a man in a creepy mask trying to play hide and seek with us, and it does sound very natural in there, like, you know, like not like an actor saying a line. It sounds like an actual, you know, person, a kid saying that the way they talk in real life. And so I think David's direction to throw the script out and just let you guys do it yourselves. I mean, it
It
just
was
from what we see in the trailer, it looks great.
it was great. Yeah, so that entire scene, every single take that we did, it was all right, now give me something to like it was we were improvising, but it was also give me this, give me that, throwing lines, do this, say that, put your hand here. Like it wasn't like boss. He was actually like feeding us lines and all that, and it was great. It
Hmm.
Most people wouldn't be able to have. I don't know how I reacted so quickly to every single thing that he said. I guess I was nervous and my adrenaline was like, "Oh, here we go." Like
Hmm.
my adrenaline was pumping, and so I was just getting everything he said, just taking it. And it was not intense, but like it was, hey, you're here on a set, so don't screw up. Like, and it's nobody else was pressuring us. It was me that was pressuring myself. Like, hey, keep it together. And so, yeah, the improv, that was honestly, if we had gone with the script, I think I would have still appreciated being on set, but that's the improv is what made it like that kind of experience. Like you can just relax, kind of, not too much, but you can relax a little bit and just kind of, say, okay, this is what they want. Like, and it's not to meet a certain criteria. You're just there, and you say, and you go along with the storyline, but not to a T. Like you don't say everything you say in the script. You're good. And so that's what helped me a little bit as well. But yeah, so I have loved when I went to set, I saw those, I had no idea where I was going to be filming. Wallace Park is really nice. I want to go back honestly this year just before it releases, just to see it again, because so yeah, getting there, I had no idea where I was filming, where I was going. I just knew I was going to be in Wilmington and be in a movie. That's it. So when we got there, there was just so many cameras. There were so many people. And obviously this was before COVID, but there were so many people just everywhere. Like it was huge. I was like, oh, so this isn't like a YouTube video. Like this is like, you're here, you're for real. Like you're for real in a movie.
That's when you really knew.
That's when I really realized, hey, yeah, you're in a movie. And people were just so nice. I remember going to get my mic pack put on, and he was so nice. I'm sorry I don't remember his name, but he was absolutely the best man. I love him so much. He was funny. He was like one of those. He was like like your favorite uncle at a family reunion. Like he was funny, and he was nice. And I don't know why, but that's one of my greatest memories, is just talking with him. That shows how much that was.
Yeah.
But and then I remember meeting Giselle for the first time. We were sitting on the ground, and I was like, so hi. And we just kind of like started talking. And then now we talk almost every day. Me, Gavin, and Giselle haven't seen each other since we left set, but we still talk every single day. But
that's great.
Yeah, so we're very, very excited about the release. And I think for everyone, it was a really good experience. It doesn't matter if you've been in many movies or just this is your first one like I was. It was a great experience. It doesn't have to be like, oh, this is my first time, like, oh, blah, blah, blah. Like just the atmosphere that the cast and the crew created around me and around all the actors. It was just amazing. And the environment was definitely better than I expected it to be. Anyway, so yeah, it was definitely, it was awesome. And it was probably one of my favorite. If I could go back to any time in the time machine, that would be it.
Wow. It sounds really great. Now in the trailer, we see you guys trick-or-treating, and we see the silver shamrock masks. Now, you said you hadn't seen any of the previous films. Did you get to actually wear one of the masks while filming?
Yes.
And which one? Can you tell us?
Yes. So I was the pumpkin.
Awesome.
Yeah. So I remember going in for costume fitting and them just handing me that. I was like, what? Like, I mean, I get this is a Halloween movie, but like, what is that for? And they were like, put it on. And I was like, okay. Like, it's just no explanation. And I honestly don't know what I've heard and I've seen from a bunch of Halloween fan pages that they're excited that the Silver Shamrock are coming back. But, I have no idea I had no idea what I was doing with it. I didn't know that it was a tribute to, I think it was Halloween 3 that they were in.
Yep.
Yeah. I had no idea that was a tribute. So I didn't know what I was doing. It was, they were just like, here, hold this mask. And I was like, oh, okay. Like, had no idea that it was a bunch of fans' favorite thing. I didn't know that until a year after, when everything started blowing up on Instagram, and they're like, "Oh my God, like the season of the witch, like all that." And I was like, "Oh, that's what that was." Okay.
Yep.
And that's why I was so confused when people would break down the trailer and be like, "Oh my gosh, like the mask." I was like, "Yeah, it's a mask. What's so special about it?"
That's awesome. That's and again, another great irony that, yeah, to you it was just another Halloween mask, and probably not even that great a one, and you're like, what's going on? And then, yeah, to us fans, yes, it's mind-blowing to see these masks not only featured in the new film, but featured so prominently in the trailer, and what we can assume is going to be coming in the film. Yeah, it's a big deal. I mean, I don't know, it probably doesn't show up real well, but this poster right here actually has those 3 masks. That's
oh my gosh, I can see that.
Yeah, it's and the pumpkin's right in the center. Yeah, that's the 3 silver shamrock masks right there. So pretty fitting for this. And
yes, definitely.
was that challenging, probably wearing the mask while trying to act with the mask on at times?
So I actually don't remember. I know that I had it on because in the first of the trailer you can see us running. So I think that was the only time I actually had it on. I held it for the rest of it, I think. But no, it was pretty. It was honestly, it wasn't weird to me, but because I didn't know anything about it, I was like, so why am I holding this again? Like,
right.
Can I just set it down? And they're like, no. And I was like, okay, I'll just hold it then. They're like, hold it and don't let go. I was like, okay, I don't even know what's happening here.
That's hilarious, because clearly it was important that mask be in certain shots and those references be there. And
I had no idea.
That's hilarious that you had no idea. But you're learning now. You're learning that yes, it is a nice big Easter egg for all of us, and a nice callback to Halloween 3 in a big way, bringing them into this new continuity of the franchise. Now, the other night we did our own breakdown, and you were kind enough to join us in the live chat a little bit, and you mentioned a little bit there about this, and I wanted to ask you more about the first time you actually saw Michael Myers with your eyes. Can you tell me? Can you walk us through that a little bit?
Terrifying is the only word that I know. It was absolutely insane. So, with that scene, I had met Nick Castle before we had gone to set, just for a second. He was like, hello. I was like, hey. Me and Giselle were just kind of, sitting there waiting. And he just came up to us. He was like, what parts do y'all play? Like, he's so nice. He's so nice. And it's so ironic because he is absolutely, he's sweet. He's so sweet. And he was like, what parts do y'all play? And we were like, oh, Christy and Minnie. And he was like, oh, cool, I play Michael. And we were like, oh, okay. A bit of a shockwave there. Yeah, no. He was like, I play Michael, and I saw the blue jumpsuit, but I, again, didn't know much about Halloween. I didn't really know who Michael was. And we saw the blue jumpsuit. I didn't think much about it, actually. But he didn't have his mask on, and he just, he was just in his costume, but that's it. So we get down to set, and it's going great. We're filming, and usually in that trailer when Giselle says, look, or there he is, when we look over, we used to have somebody holding a flashlight to tell us where to look, so that we would all look at the same place. We get ready to look, and without any warning, we look to try to find the flashlight, but instead see Michael Myers instead of a flashlight. And let me tell you, that is not something an 11 or 12-year-old wants to see.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, you could see everything so clearly. I could even see his knife. Like, it was, Lord have mercy. I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna die. Like, I really thought, I was like, this ain't no movie no more. I am about to die. This is, they tricked me. This was a setup. I'm dead. Get me out. And it was terrifying. I don't know if we kept it or not, but that time I actually like screamed. I was like, oh my God. I was like, please don't kill me. And it was insane. I don't know if he intended to not tell us or that he honestly just forgot. But Kyle didn't seem half as scared as we did. I think he might have known that he was there. I did not.
Yeah, maybe he probably wanted to get y'all's honest reaction. It sounds like. Oh man, that does sound terrifying at any age to see that in that image that we see in that trailer. Yeah, pretty terrifying for sure. and again, you said that having never seen any of the prior films and not really knowing much about Michael Myers at all or knowing anything, that was your first time literally right there seeing that mask and that what is to us that iconic mask. We call it the shape, you know, but that was the first time you laid eyes on him, was right there on set. That's amazing.
Yeah, and that I had known a little bit about, like, I had seen pictures because on the way home from the audition, I was like, when I got it, I was like, oh, so we looked it up and I like made sure to know what I was doing, but not really. I was like, oh, so that's who this is. Like, oh yeah, I've seen him on TV a couple times. Like I had seen the trailer for the 2018. I was like, why would anyone want to watch that? That is insanely scary. And I was like, I actually thought, I was like, that must be like really, really scary for the actors. And yes, correct. 2 years ago, I had no idea what I was getting into. Absolutely no idea.
Yeah. You obviously working with Kyle Richards in that scene. What can you tell us about her? What was she like to work with?
Oh, she was great. She is the sweetest. She welcomed us on set. She was so nice in between takes. Like, we kind of just sat there and talked for a little while. She told me all about Housewives of Beverly Hills, all that, and about everything else in Halloween in the past, how she was in those. And she was asking me, like, is this your first movie? I was like, yeah. And she was like, oh, you're going to do great. She was so nice, and she cared about us. Like I said, every single time I cut, she'd be like, is your ankle okay? Are you good? Like, yeah, she was insanely nice. Everybody was so sweet, but she was great to work with. If she was told to do something different, she'd immediately change it. Like she made sure to listen. It was awesome.
Yeah, she seems really great. I got to interview her a few years ago, and she said back then that she'd love to return to do another Halloween if she was ever asked. And I think it's great that it's finally happening. And I love that. And again, I know you haven't seen the original, but you know her character was one of the kids in that film that Jamie Lee Curtis is babysitting and kind of protecting. And I think it's great that now in this new one, we can already see in the trailer that her character of Lindsay is now the protector of you guys, your character, it looks like in that scene at least. So I think that's a great kind of callback in its own way to the original, and also show that, you know, how her character has now grown to be the protector when Michael comes back to Haddonfield.
Yeah. And that's one of the things that I've watched a lot of the trailer breakdowns just to see, because I was in the first teaser trailer for a split second in the first one about a year ago, and I just got so excited I would watch every breakdown just to see what they thought. And they would all say, oh, this is Allison, or this is Lori's new like daughter, or anything. I was like, oh my God. Like, it was insane. So again, especially with the one that came out 4 days ago, people have been hopping on that and fast. And so yeah, it's cool to see them actually saying like, hey, this looks like a tribute to blah blah blah. And I had no idea. Still, I have no idea about the entire thing. Still, right now, I honestly, I don't know. I know more about the Halloween franchise than I did 2 years ago. But I'm still oblivious to most of the stuff in the movies.
What can you tell us about Christy? This is a new character that we've never seen before, and again, you're featured pretty prominently in the new trailer. What can you tell us? Obviously, no spoilers, but is there anything you can tell us about the character going into this?
Okay, so if you take the like the person that you fear most and put it in child form, she is insanely menacing. You mess with her friends, you're dead. Just saying. She's like the leader of the pack. She's pretty intense. If she's probably, I honestly don't know, but I think she's the youngest of the three. Yeah, so she's the leader. She's the smallest, definitely. That was ironic as well because both of Gavin and Giselle were taller than I was, but I was supposed to be the leader, and it was insane seeing like Giselle how tall she was, and then Gavin up here freaking and then I'm just like standing there just like in the middle, like 4'6" me just standing there. But yeah, she can be mean.
Yeah.
She can be mean.
Ah, interesting. Very interesting. What was it like for you to tap in to some of that meanness? Was that difficult, or was that kind of fun to explore that side?
It was a little bit of both, but more fun. It was because I grew up like making sure that I was very respectful to anyone. Yes, sir, no, sir. Yes, ma'am, no, ma'am. But Christy isn't that way. And so it was a little bit, I felt like I was going to get in trouble if I was like mean to anybody, but I had to be because that was my character. And so like not calling Kyle Richards yes ma'am and ma'am in those scenes were like, oh my God, I don't know if I can do this. Like I didn't want to make anyone mad, but nobody else is gonna get mad at me. It's a movie, I'm acting. Like I'm not gonna get in trouble for not saying ma'am. Like, it was fun once I actually got into costume, into like that character. And that's what Gavin and them have told me, like, you were so different whenever we cut than you were when we started. I was like, yeah, tried to. Yeah, but it was very fun, and it wasn't challenging, but it was challenging enough to where I could definitely tap into it, like, again, because I know how now. Which is good. And sometimes when somebody in my house says something stupid, I'll go, I'm gonna give you the Christy death stare. And they're like, oh wait, no wait. I'm like, yeah, run. Like so awesome. I can tap into that now.
That's great. The Christy death stare.
It's become a joke around our house.
Yeah, I bet they stay out of your way at that point. Awesome. Well, I know we're all going to enjoy learning more about the character, and we can't wait to see it. So you said that obviously it's been 2 years, almost exactly 2 years since the movie was being filmed back in 2019, and now here we are. It's as we're recording this anyway, it's 3 weeks from the release of the film. Finally,
that's insane.
We just got that final trailer, and you're all over it. Your character is right there in the opening seconds of that. So how does all this feel? You said that you've been a little more educated about the franchise and about how important Michael Myers and Silver Shark and all this stuff is to some fans, myself included. What has this been like, learning that you're part of this legacy now?
That's insane to hear as well, because even the other night, everybody's so nice. All of the fans are they're just so nice, and I can see, I've been obsessed with a lot of things myself. Just like a lot of things, like one of my favorite movies, well, my actual favorite movie is Beetlejuice. So like I am very much into like the creepy, but not scary, like just creepiness. So yeah, no, I know that there's a lot of people who have had the same experience with Halloween as I did, obsessing over Beetlejuice the musical, everything happening, just absolutely loving every single second of it, loving, like, there's some people that still hold a place in my heart from Beetlejuice. Like, those people, it doesn't matter about the movie. It matters to me more about the actors and actresses and how great they are and how sweet, just in out of costume, out of the set, just everything, just their personalities. And I really think that I've come across a lot of things on Instagram about, like, just people just loving Jamie Lee. It doesn't matter if she was playing Lori, it doesn't matter, and Andy and all of the main people. And I think that that's kind of what, because I know that I've been a fangirl for a long time. Anyway, so I think having the feeling that knowing that I am in something that makes people happy, even though I really don't understand how. It's so scary. It's great. The film's great. Don't get me wrong. Like, that's not what I mean. It's not bad. It's so scary. How do you do it? I would love to have courage like that. I can't. But getting into just everything and seeing everybody and seeing how much people support the cast and everything, it makes me go back to how I felt when somebody from the cast of Beetlejuice would notice me, or would just how I would think of them and everything. It was, I just hope I can make a lot of people happy.
Very cool. Very cool. And we talked about working with Kyle and how you just missed Jamie Lee.
That was insane.
And talking to Nick, were there what other cast members did you get to interact with on set? Can you talk a little bit about them?
Yes. So I don't really remember how to pronounce her last name, but Andy Maychak. Is that how you say it?
I think so. Matachak, I think.
Matachak, sorry.
You might be saying it better than I am. I think it's Matachak.
She was extremely nice to me. It was great to meet her. I think his name is Dylan Arnold.
Yep.
Yeah, I met him. I met Nick Castle, and Kyle Richards. I think I did meet, in the trailer we see the girl in the your nurse uniform, and then the guy on the other side. I met the guy. I don't remember his. I met him though. And he was showing me all the special effects and everything. I myself am actually a special effects artist. So after Halloween Kills, I decided to get into special effects. And so now I do those and scare the crap out of my family. It's hilarious.
That's great.
But yeah, no, it was fun because he kind of just stopped us and he was like, hey, what part do you play? I was like, oh, Christy. And he was like, oh, cool. Here's what Michael did to me. I was like, oh, okay. Like, as if seeing him wasn't enough. I was like, oh, okay.
You get to see the aftermath.
So he actually kill people. Okay. It was,
Yeah.
And especially because we had to film at night. It was like 3 a.m. and I was losing it at Michael standing there. I was like, oh my God, I'm dead. Like,
oh man.
I'm so gone. But there was a lot of food and caffeine involved in those nights. I just want to go ahead and say there was a lot of food and a lot of soda involved, or else I probably wouldn't have made it. I was so tired. It was insane. But no, meeting them, it was great. I didn't really understand. I was like, oh, people, like, and then again, 2 years later, I'm like, oh my God, why didn't you think more of them? Literally, you were so dumb. They are so famous. What the heck? Like, you met these people, and some people run fan pages for the people that you met. These people have tons of fans, and you just went, oh, hi. Like, really? Is that the best you can do? Like, it was, if I could go back, I would definitely be like, I am so sorry for how I acted when I met you. Like, please forgive me. But now that I know, I was like, oh, hey, I'm in a movie. Like, oh, cool. Like, I was very excited. But then when I came home, I was like, yeah, I met these people and blah, blah, blah. I talked about, they were like, wait, you met who? I was like, Kyle Richards. And they were like, are you serious? How are you not excited? I was like, who is it? Like, what's so special? And it was insane. It was fun to meet them. They were so nice. Just everyone gave off this amazing vibe. They actually cared. Like, after we had to do school block, and so I had the best people surrounding me, and they would be like, do you need something? Can I get you water? Like, I was like, oh, like, that's okay, I can get it myself. Like, I don't want to make you have to work more than you are. Sorry.
That's awesome. It sounds like a good time on set. Like, everybody was really welcoming to you and looking after you. And yeah, working those crazy hours in the middle of the night and everything. I mean, that's got to be challenging for everybody. And you said that you were, I mean, in your defense for not knowing who some of the actors were, you said you were about 11 or 12 when you were filming.
Yes.
So in your defense, you know, we can excuse some of that, I think. And having not seen some of the films, I think we can let that go at that age.
Yeah.
It's understandable.
It was insane, because when I filmed, I think I was 11, but just turned, I think I was 12, but like just turned 12. And I'm 14 now, and it's just now coming out. And it was insane. Me and Gavin and Giselle talks about it a lot. We're like, do you realize, like, it's been 2 years, y'all? Like, it doesn't feel like 2 years, because we haven't seen each other in 2 years. All three of us haven't seen each other since we left set. But it doesn't feel like that for us, because we talk every single day. But it also is like, do you remember blah, blah, blah on set? And then the others are like, no. Like, what are you talking about? That was such a long time ago. Like, what? And I don't know. It's fun to talk about set with them, because we all had different experiences. Yeah. And there were just some absolutely hilarious moments that I remember on set. I tripped downstairs one time, just straight up fell on my face. I don't really remember why, but I did. That's all I remember. There's just so many times that it was awesome.
Well, that sounds really awesome that you guys were able to form this bond in real life, not just while you were filming, but this real bond that has carried on. And here it is 2 years later, and you guys are tighter than ever in real life. I mean, I've interviewed many of the people that worked on the original Halloween back in 1978, and some of them have formed bonds over the last 40 some years that they're still, you know, friends today. So that's pretty awesome to hear as a fan that that's still going on this set most recently.
It really is. And they're the sweetest too. We act more like siblings now. All three of us act more like siblings now. Like, me and Gavin can literally talk about anything. It's like brother and sister, and it's amazing. They're all so talented. All of them are so talented. They're both just amazing actors and actresses. I love to just like brag about them, but they're so nice, and they're so sweet, and they're so talented. Gavin is insanely talented with visual effects. He absolutely loves just to make things and do auditions and everything. And Giselle is just amazing actress, and they both have great personalities, and it's just amazing I was really thankful that I met them when I did.
Well, they sound great, and I hopefully we'll be able to get them on here at some point too and talk about their experiences working on the film. They sound like they'll have their own stories that they can input to kind of color our whole experience here. Do you have any upcoming projects right now, or you're just looking for the next one?
I do not have any upcoming. I haven't really gotten an audition. I have gotten an audition since Halloween Kills, but not that many due to like COVID and everything. But it'll happen when it happens.
Yeah, and I think the exposure from this film, obviously, you know, that's, you know,
oh yes,
and as you're probably already seeing, you know, the fan base, I imagine they're going to be very welcoming to you and all of these new cast members, as they are with every film that comes out, and it's very exciting. So you're always gonna have a home here with the Halloween fans, and I think they're gonna love watching you guys in this new film. I know I'm excited to see it. And I love actually hearing that that now you're a makeup effects artist in your own right,
Yes.
and expanding your artistship. Somebody that doesn't like horror movies and doesn't like scary movies, but you're going to be able to maybe help create them even further.
Yeah, I'm that's what I hope as well. And with the whole, it's I can't explain it. It's there a bunch of the I met a bunch of the fans the other night, and they were very, very nice and very welcoming. So just with every fan base, I know that there are going to be some people
Sure.
that aren't too nice, but like in many fan bases, fandoms myself, like I understand, especially with the community that is happening with the, oh my God, like this trailer is so spoiled. Like I've seen it on Instagram. People are getting mad about the trailer and how spoilery it is. And I'm like, just don't, then. You don't have to, like, just
don't have to watch it. Yeah.
Exactly. But yeah, no, there's just a bunch of people with their own opinions, and that's great. And I'm very, very, very excited to meet more of the fans and meet more of the fan base of Halloween. And you know, it for me has been a like one thing that I have looked back on, and almost every day I'm like, oh, I remember that time that, you know, I tripped down the stairs, or like I remember that one scene where we couldn't stop laughing, or all that. I have so many stories, and it's just they're just, David's brilliant, and just the whole team's brilliant, and I thank them so much.
Is there any other of those hilarious stories that you can tell us today before we wrap up?
Yeah, I could. So one time we were in that scene that's shown in the trailer, and one time I was told to stop the swing, get up and run. Okay. So as high as I was going, like I was going so high that when I tried to stop, I ended up flipping forward. Oh. And it didn't happen again because I knew how to stop myself that time. But that I ended up flipping forward, and Giselle just lost it. It was hilarious. And one of
but you didn't get hurt, didn't get injured.
Oh no, I didn't know. But it was fun, especially like running across that. There's a bridge in the background that we ran across, and it led to this like big house. And I don't know if that was somebody's actual house, but I mean, it was huge. And especially at 3 a.m. when it was just road lights and like these daggum huge soft boxes up on the playground, like we just sat there and just like looked at it, and we were like, is this the Myers house? Like what like, huh? And so they explained it. They're like, no, we don't know who lives there. We just, I was like, look, it's huge. And it was huge. And especially with as much light as we did have on set, when we ran back in the woods, you could barely see where the playground was. Oh, yeah. And the moon was like just right above that house. And that's the only light that you could really see. It was scary. It was scary, but it was amazing because I was like, what is that? Like, hello, are we going to be filming in there? Like, what is that? And then they're like, no, we don't know who lives there. I was like, oh, okay. So serial killers then. Okay. Like it was, but yeah. I remember just when we would get to set at about 6 p.m., I would sleep until like 3 p.m. because I got home at like 4 a.m. And so I would sleep till like 3 p.m, get up, take a shower, have a little breakfast, but not really nothing because I knew I was gonna have to run. And so we would get to set and then just chill out for a minute, put our stuff down and everything, get in costume, hair and makeup trailer, get it all done. And then we would before we would get everything on, we would go to breakfast at 5 p.m. in the afternoon. We would go to breakfast and get like stuff. It was let me just tell you, the food there was incredible. But me and Giselle and Gavin would sit on the steps of our trailers and just eat together and talk about stuff. And then we get called, and then we would put everything on and hair, makeup, everything, the full thing. Then we would ride a shuttle to set, and it was great just sitting there with them, just talking and having like, hey, like, can I like have your number? Do you like have an email or whatever? It was like the first time that we met, and we immediately just, sometimes I know with theater, I barely have any friends from theater anymore, and we used to be best friends with everybody. But it's honestly it's really cool that me and Giselle and Gavin still have that bond that we first had when we met. And I remember first meeting Gavin, and he's really tall, and he's either really tall or I'm just really short. But we were getting our mics put on, and I was like, "Who are you?" And he was like, "Oh, I play blah blah blah," and I was like, "Oh, okay," and then didn't talk to him for the rest of the time. And now we're like brother and sister, like literally did not talk to him for the rest of the set, and then just left. He gave me his number, and I just left. It was.
And now you guys are.
And now we're like best friends. So yeah.
That's great. That is really cool to hear. Bonds made in Haddonfield on Halloween night as Michael Myers are chasing you. I mean, that's some lifelong bonds right there. I love to hear that. Yeah. And finally, I mean, we started off, you said you had never celebrated Halloween before. Do you think you guys might celebrate now, or at least maybe watch a Michael Myers movie in the next few years?
I actually don't know. All I know is that I'm not allowed to watch them. I'm not even allowed to watch kills.
That's probably good right now.
Yeah, I'm not even allowed to watch Halloween Kills, and I'm in it. So I told my dad, I said, when Halloween Kills comes out, because I can't watch it, I said, I want candy corn and apple cider, please. And he was like, yes. I was like, okay, thanks. Like, I just want that on the 5th. And actually, it comes out on my dad's birthday, October 15th.
Oh, wow, that's cool.
I was like, I just want candy corn and apple cider, and I'll be fine. Just those two, because my best friend does Halloween, and we've been friends for 8 years. She does Halloween, and she always gives me her candy that she doesn't want. It's just, yeah, it's hilarious because I never get any, and then I'm like, yo, Josie, here. like throw it here.
Very cool. Awesome. Well, I know we're all looking forward to seeing the film, and yeah, we might have to have a whole nother conversation after it comes out and we see everything that we're going to see about Christy, and then we can talk about everything we can't talk about today. But
yes.
But I can't thank you enough for taking the time to talk to me today. This has just been a pleasure getting to know more about you.
Thank you so much for having me. It was great.